What's going on? Did it again. What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to FBA Capital. And today I'm bringing you guys another daily range case study on US30. So without further ado, let's get right into the charts. So the first thing I want you guys to realize is overall coming into this week, based off a higher time frame, I was overall bullish. As you can see, this is my NAS 100. This was marked up before this even happened. So mind you, before the market opened, if you watched my previous market breakdown number 30 that I've released on Sunday, I was expecting price to come down, retest this order block to potentially keep going higher in price, and that is exactly what we got. The market opened, dropped, retested the order block, retested this sell side liquidity where we cleared it, and also retested what level is this, 13,800. From here, price overall continued moving bullish. So that's why my first thing was bullish. Next thing is, when the market opened, we left this major gap in price right here. And overall, this is something that I was looking to potentially target. So we had this fair value gap in here that I knew was eventually going to get filled in at some point. And it slowly got filled in as the day went on, slowly but slowly. But we still have this fair value gap up here that still needs to be filled in. But nonetheless, that's why I was overall bullish today. So now let's get into the overall intraday and overall everything that happened that led me to overall take my buys that I took today on US30. So first things first, we're going to mark up the previous day's highs and the previous day's lows. As you can see, both the previous day's high and the previous day's low were not ran through. It was an overall inside day to be the least, but for Monday, it still had enough movement for you to be able to capitalize on something. So now that we got the previous day's high and the previous day's low, we're going to mark up the Asian session, which is going to be from 18 o'clock all the way to midnight. So all of this in here. Move over one right here. So we have 18 o'clock to midnight. This is our Asian session range, and then we're going to get the 12 a.m. open, which is going to be right here. And now that we have the overall outline, you can now look around and see how price reacted. So first things first, we're going to pay attention to this Asian session high that got cleared. And then we're also going to be paying attention to where this low and this high. These are going to be the areas that I want you guys to pay attention to. And if you don't know why I'm looking at these specific areas, I want you to pause right now, try to figure it out, and then I'm going to actually tell you. So assuming that you pause, now I'm going to overall break down why I was expecting price to overall move bullishly. So first things first, let's come to this 30-minute time frame. I have this 30-minute bullish order block right here. Let me come to the hour, see if there's one on the hour. This is even an hour one also. So it is a 30-minute and a 1 hour bullish order block. So that's the first things first. We have this bullish order block that was created from the bottom of this Asian session. So one thing I did notice is overall, I like to see London session make a wick or just go below the 12 a.m. open when I'm overall looking for potential retracement to go higher. But in this case, London session didn't make the low of the day. So that is something that I was keeping in mind. So since I didn't have a London session low of the day to draw my fib from, I had to use the best thing that I had, which was going to be the low of this order block here, which is a low of the Asian session. So that is why this low here is important. So next thing is this high up here. This high right here is the New York session high that cleared this Asian session. So we're going to annotate that. So we had, at what time was this cleared? 7:15. So at 7:15 a.m., the Asian range high was cleared. Now that I know that it was cleared, buy side liquidity was taken, and it immediately went for what? Sell side liquidity. So in my opinion, I wanted to see price potentially come down and clear these lows. I wanted it to come a little bit lower, potentially trade into maybe 33,500, which is right here. We got 33,500 right here. And here, while we're here, let me just get my other big figure levels. We have 34,000 up here. What else? What else? I'll just leave those two main levels because that's basically the range we're trading in. So now you can see all the confirmations we have in this small area. Let me also get the 50% of this Asian session range, just like this. So now you see we have this 50% right here. We have the 33,500 area right here. We also have this bullish 1 hour and 30-minute order block right here. So after we cleared this high during the not during the London session, during the what is it called? Can't think of it. New York session. When we cleared this high during the New York session, I was overall anticipating price to have this pullback to potentially go higher. So where did I draw my fib? from this low that was made during the Asian session to this high up here. Pull it down. Let's get rid of that 38.20%. And you can see right in here, price came right on into this fib level. At what time did price trade into it for the first time? At 8:30. So we're just going to say, when did it move though? At 10:15. So we'll say when it moved. So at 10:15, we had a fib long, plus we had the 50% of the Asian range, plus we had the 30-minute, I'll just say 1 hour, 1 hour order block rejection. And then we also had the 33,500 big figure level rejection. And this is where I had the idea to take my overall long bias trade. After seeing all these confirmations, this is when I knew that price had a very high chance of potentially going higher. And based off of NAS 100, it was showing that there was also a chance that price wanted to go higher during this time. At this time, so if you go back between when price was pushing, before price pushed here, NAS 100 10:15 was already showing a willingness to keep pushing higher, and the bullish momentum was already there. So that added as a double confirmation for why I was overall expecting price to keep going higher. Now, where was I going to target? Simply, I got my fib from this high up here, which is the previous day's high, and I drew it to this low down here, which is that Asian session low that I was talking about. So I drew my fib from here, and I was overall targeting the 70.50% right up here. And as you can see, that is where price came right on into, and also tapped into what level? 33,900 big figure level. So as you guys can see, these big figure levels are often respected. And this is where we got the high of the day up here. So let's annotate this also. So we have the high of the day at what time? This is very late in the afternoon, so we're not going to see the time. So we have the high of the day at 33,900. High of the day at 33,900 after tapping into his fib. And let's see if there's any order block up here that it tapped into. Right here. This last down candle. This is a breaker block that it tapped into. Let me check the hour. 4 hour. Okay, we have a 1 hour right here. So we have this 1 hour bearish breaker block that is right here. And that's where price traded into, creating the high of the day. So let's annotate that also. So we got 33,900 plus we had that breaker block rejection. Just like that. Plus BB, which is a breaker block. And that's where price tapped into, creating the high of the day after doing what? Clearing this high to the left. So we cleared that buy side liquidity and immediately kept going lower. So this is overall what happened today. Where did we get the low of the day? The low of the day ended up being made at what time? I'm going to say 14, which is about 2 o'clock. So at 2 o'clock, we had the low of the day after what? Trading back into this 1 hour order block. Trading right to the 12 a.m. open, 33,500. And then from here, price expanded to the top side once again. So let's annotate that. So at 2 p.m., we got the low of the day after trading into 33,500 plus that I'll say fib long once again, because if you change the fib, say from this high here, so we take this fib and then pull it up to this high up here now, it still came back into that fib long situation. Even though I want this fib to stay right here, because this is the main move that you would have wanted to catch right here during that time of day. Nonetheless, there was still a fib long, plus we tapped back into that 1 hour order block. And this is where price overall made that low of the day after doing what? Clearing the liquidity all to the left. And that's something I wanted to see happen earlier in the day, but as you can see, nonetheless, it still came and happened. So this is a good example of a bullish, I wouldn't say London continuation, but this is, I would say a B plus setup, a C if anything, just because there's a lot of things going on that overall didn't make price very clear. Now let's look at the last confirmation. I actually don't know if this is going to be a confirmation, but now that I'm looking at it, let's draw our fib from the previous day's low to the previous day's high and see if we had a potential fib setup in play. So from here to here, we didn't have a 62%. Now let's pull out the 38.20%. And as you can see, this is where price was overall consolidating the whole time. So we had this 38.20% consolidation from the previous day's low to the previous day's high. And this is overall what led to this continuation of price today. So nonetheless, now let's get the schematic of what happened. So the Asian session, we had the range. Just like that. London session didn't make the low of the day, but it just ended up trending higher, clearing the Asian session high, having a retrace back into it before continuing higher. So nonetheless, this isn't a very clean schematic, but just keep in mind that today's Monday. There was not a lot of news events. So what do we mean by not a lot of news events? There wasn't much volume. And as you can see, price was consolidating for 80% of the day, in my opinion. I was just saying 90, even though it had its pushes and had its impulses. Nonetheless, it still was consolidating for the most part. But nonetheless, there's still lots to be learned from this situation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to screenshot this. I'm going to send it in the Telegram chat. So if you're not in the Telegram, make sure you click the link in the description. Active every single day, sending all my trades, sending all my daily case studies, and active with 320 members on a daily basis. So without further ado, hopefully this video was helpful in any way, shape, or form. If it did, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you share with a friend. And on that note, I'm ending the video off here. So hopefully you enjoyed it. Make sure you stay motivated by the fear of being average. And I'll see you all tomorrow for my next live trading session. So I'll see you in the morning.